It's just a music video we're coming in on?
Whatever we want.
Okay.
Let's go. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the pod. Matt, Kim, Peter, Saddington.
What's up, what's up, what's up?
Bro, this is the first time, I think in like a month and a half, where we got the whole crew together. Will's in the house.
Yeah,
Yo, what up, Will?
What's up?
What's up, guys?
So it's exciting. We haven't had everyone together in maybe 6 weeks, 5 weeks.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because we've only been doing this pod like less than a year.
Like clockwork, too.
And all of a sudden, we took a couple of breaks. We had people missing in action. I was away for a while. And now that we're back, I feel like we're back home.
You know, that is a big theme. And you were out in Korea for how long again?
2 weeks. 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
We have to get a rundown on what that's all about.
So when you say rundown, it reminds me of that movie. Was it Office Space? Where they ask him for a rundown. And they're like, what's a rundown? What movie was that, Will? Do you remember where the movie where they're looking for the rundown?
I don't remember. I don't know what you're talking
Find
about.
this, Will. I need to know. What movie were they looking for a rundown?
Welcome, everybody, to the Matt Camp Podcast. We're already losing our shit.
And if you haven't noticed, we're like in a Korean barbecue, it feels like today.
Absolutely. That's what I said when I came in here. I was like, man, I feel like I'm in a Korean barbecue because this is like 3 hours of unadulterated, pure K-pop. Absolutely all the way, guys.
I mean, I feel like today, obviously, I just got back from Korea, so we have to talk about Korea. And how do we talk about Korea without being in a K-pop music video?
I mean, K-pop has taken over the world, man, by storm. Even the funny, even people that you wouldn't even think about it, they're talking about K-pop.
It's crazy how big it's gotten.
So let me just ask you this.
Let me ask you this. I missed. Peter came in and he said to me, "Let me ask you this," and I said, "Bro, I missed you."
This is the second time I've said that in the last 10 minutes. But why do you think K-pop has taken over the world?
It's catchy. It's pretty girls, and
is it part of the regime? Is it part of the part of the Matrix?
1,000 million, 500,000 million gajillion %. Yes, K-pop is 100% a part of the propaganda machine.
Okay, so what are they trying to sell us then?
They're just trying to keep you docile, keep you entertained, keep you. You get your kicks in and you don't have to worry about maybe talking to girls. It has to do with not reproducing, not having children, can't say the DP word.
It's like the Taylor Swift effect.
Yeah.
Oh.
Or it's like the OnlyFans effect. Or it's like the unlimited free porn in the world effect.
So it's feminism.
Yeah, it's empowerment.
It's empowerment.
Feminist empowerment.
Feminist empowerment. I see how that works. I was speaking of Taylor Swift. Did you see that the news article about Taylor Swift going to save President Biden?
Whoa.
Look it up, brother.
I don't think we have our computer set up today.
Well, okay. Well, there's an article that came out recently.
But we have sound effects.
We do have sound effects. There's an article that came out recently that said that Taylor Swift is going to save President Biden, his campaign. Now, I think this is projection. Right, they're telling us the plan. So I would expect, you guys correct me if I'm wrong in the future, but I would expect that we will see news bits of Taylor Swift up on the Hill, hanging out with President Biden, making sure that he is the most approachable, most likable, most down to earth, Jimmy John's Joe American that he possibly can be for the next election.
He's going to sniff the shit out of her.
Bro. He's going to sniff her like he's never sniffed before. There's a lot of sniffing that goes on in that household, man, I swear.
True.
Hunter's always like rubbing his nose. I don't know what that's all about.
I feel like half of Congress is always rubbing their nose.
Dude, I saw this funny meme the other day that this guy it was a joke. He said NFL or NBA. And he went through this list of like 69 drunk drivers. Nice. Drunk driving. 5 with felonies. 105 with tax issues. And he asked the crowd all these numbers, all these terrible numbers. He asked the crowd, NBA or NFL? And people were like, they voted, and they was like, none of them. It's our Senate. It's our Senate and our House of Representatives. Like they're all crooks.
Yeah.
They all have felonies. They all have they're all insider trading. They all have terrible things that they've done. I'll tell you, bunch of crooks.
Well, I want to talk about Korea, but before I do, did you see that the GOP Congressman George Santos got kicked out?
No, I mean I heard there were some things around him, but I didn't know if he actually got kicked out or not. I guess that's relative.
They removed him from Congress
Really?
based on the
Because
guy's
because he's a liar.
the guy's a liar. He's a fraud.
But
But
all of them are liars, though.
there's a lot worse people in Congress.
For sure.
He's supposed to go to trial for what he's doing, and they kicked him out before the trial even started.
Well, then they can't have a trial because he no longer has the role, right? He's a civilian now.
I don't know how that works, but I think it's a really dangerous precedent that they set.
I mean, come on. He's like a clown version of a congressman, though.
Yes.
Like, and the fact that they're kicking him out for lying about you. Didn't he spend money on OnlyFans?
But he is also a free GOP vote in Congress.
Oh, it's always politics.
And why would the Republicans vote to remove a guy that votes party line? That's weird too. Right? Why risk having, because he represents, I think, Great Neck and Nassau County in Long Island. Why risk giving that seat to a Democrat if you're a Republican and just remove him?
Well,
Why not just ride with him? It's only 2-year term anyway.
Yeah, because he wasn't kind of rhino-ish anyway.
He
Like
votes
Republican in name
Republican.
only.
I don't know.
Oh,
I
man.
think he's kind of weird. He's kind of a fraud. He's really flamboyant. He's also the first openly gay congressman or Republican congressman. But
Wait, I thought Mike Pence was the first one.
openly gay,
Oh,
not closet gay.
Oh, there's a lot of those.
But they just kicked him out, and I get it. Shady guy. However,
It's not a good precedent. But I mean, they're setting a lot of not good precedents, right? Because we got all these bad things that people have done in Congress and on the Hill and presidents, and then now we're indicting Trump, which the precedent itself and everything that's going on with that is just absolute. I think that alone has changed a lot of votes because people are like, just enough's enough.
they are normalizing guilty before proven innocent.
Yeah.
And that's the scariest part of it, because the foundation of our judicial system and our legal system is that you're innocent until proven guilty. Whether that's true or not, whatever. But that's at least what we are taught to believe, and that's how we kind of operate.
Don't you think that while that is true, don't you think that's really outdated because we live in such a media world where the court of popular opinion comes first anyway, always?
Yes. But as
I mean, didn't that start with OJ? Do you remember the OJ trials?
Yeah.
I mean, media was all over, like, and just ruining everything, getting into everything. I mean, I remember the OJ trial was so messy, right?
Dude, if the glove doesn't fit, you must acquit. Best legal line ever.
It was like a Frosted Flakes like slogan.
He,
They're great.
he put that thing out there. It just rang in everyone's ear, and it sat in the jury's mind. And it must have been the greatest closing ever.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It was a nail in the coffin in terms of the court of popular opinion. It swayed the emotional voting, and with all of the absolutely just I thought, and we were younger men back then, but just absolute home run evidence that he was guilty. I mean, I think actually OJ was probably an early sliver of the crack in the matrix for me. It was like, this shit can't be happening. I don't know. Anyway, coming back from Korea, guys, we're all over the place. We haven't talked with each other for a couple weeks, so we're kind of catching up, like speed round here. But Korea.
Well, before I get to Korea, because we have been using Garage ID as a sponsor on the podcast. We've been doing it, and we've been showing the advertisement in the live streaming that we've been doing. If you haven't checked out the live stream, we've been live streaming on Rumble. Also, quick announcement, the podcast is now on Rumble as well as Twitter, as well as YouTube, as well as Spotify. And sometimes episodes don't go on YouTube because sometimes things we say, they delete it. So if you don't see us for a week or two and you're like, hey, I wonder what happened to them, check out X, check out Rumble. It will definitely be there.
Absolutely. So thanks for our sponsors. If there's any sponsors out there that want to get in on the Matt Kim podcast, let Matt know.
So Garage ID has been happening for the last 3 weeks now. Let's just do a quick update on how that's going for you.
Oh, well, thanks. Well, Garage ID is all about, it's the Web3 automotive ecosystem built for racers and drivers and automotive enthusiasts. They started their Kickstarter campaign 3 weeks ago, and they're raising $250,000, and I think we're up to 170 right now.
Wow.
So not bad. Not
Holy
bad. 170 grand in 3 weeks. Not bad.
That's damn.
If anything, it's more of a function of my efforts.
I mean, I get it, but to raise 170 grand in 3 weeks, it's amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I hope you get all the way to the finish line. If you guys are watching, if you're listening, definitely go check out garageid.com and support Peter.
With absolute frankness, if the goal is met, then part of that is coming back to the Matt Kim podcast. As
Even better, definitely go support Garage
we
ID.
want to be real sponsors.
And check out Peter, because we want to support people within our community. I think that's most important. We've had offers from other places outside of the network that want to maybe do something or collaborate, and we've been very reluctant to do so. Because at the end of the day, I want to work with people that believe in what we're doing. And what we're doing is spreading a mission and message of thinking freely, free think. And if you're not on board with what we are doing and you want to kind of be particular about things we say, like Elon said, go fuck yourself.
You know what? That was kind of another fun precedent for him too.
Dude, I loved that he did that. I loved it. My respect for Elon went up like 1,000,000 points, because it's not like he just said it once. He wanted to be so crystal clear to everyone watching, and he did it at the New York Times presser. He could have done it on his own platform.
Yep.
He could have anywhere. He sat there on stage in front of all the people at the New York Times and said, basically, all of you guys, go fuck yourself.
Exactly, and it was a buildup, because he's been fucked by New York Times for years.
Yes.
Like, they've just been smearing him for years on end. So for him to be able to sit there in their castle, point at all of them and say, and repeat it twice, by the way.
Yes.
He said, "If I wasn't clear, go fuck yourself."
Yeah.
Right. And his like,
And I think he even said GFYO.
yes, exactly.
Just in case that was not clear too.
Elon Musk, hat tip to you, my friend.
Yeah.
Much respect.
Yeah.
You know, going into the lion's den and saying stuff like that doesn't seem economically sound.
No. And he went off on Bob Iger and Disney, and people have been dropping the Disney subscriptions. So I know I've been on the fence on Elon many times. However, this was one of those moments where I gained a little bit extra respect for him.
Is it because he took the opportunity to, in the context of it, or is it more that the respect comes from the fact that he's willing to say it and he has the courage to say it?
I think there would have been a lot of pressure internally and within. Twitter is not making a lot of money. And for him to basically tell all the big sponsors out there, if you're not on board with what I'm doing, eat a dick. It's not easy to do.
No.
Because although Elon's a rich man, he doesn't want to be known as a guy who failed at Twitter.
And he does in his other companies have shareholders that he's beholden to.
Correct. Even with all the shareholders, with his government contracts, with everything else going on in his world, he told major sponsors of the entire world, either you agree with me, eat a dick. And I thought that was pretty damn cool. Because I don't think there's a lot of people in the world that would have been able to do that.
So some would say in the fringe that Elon is part of the controlled opposition.
I agree. I can see why people think that. I think that's a very fair assessment. However, when someone does something that deserves your respect, I think we need to pause and at least acknowledge it.
Man, maybe he's like Gavin Newsom.
Oh, that guy, dude.
Maybe he's like a Gavin Newsom. Like, did you watch the Tucker? Of course you did, because you love Tucker.
I love Tucker.
You watched the Tucker when he was talking about Gavin Newsom?
Yeah.
Lying through his teeth, like could pass a polygraph test, right?
Psychopath.
Yes, psychopath, psycho. Is Elon kind of like a Gavin in a different form, or no? What do you think?
No, I don't think so. I think Elon just, number one, wants to be loved, wants to be respected. He has this yearning to be, for a lack of the word, popular. Hero. And
he doesn't have main character syndrome, though. He doesn't think he's like the center of the universe.
No, but he wants to. He has this yearning to, and even though he's arguably one of the richest men in the world, And I think that's so debatable because there are families significantly richer.
Ain't nobody that you see on the Forbes list is actually rich compared to
The 12 families.
yes, compared to them. There's no
But-
way.
No, but he's a wealthy man. And I think that's interesting for him to do because he just wants to be accepted. I feel like he's got this little chip on his shoulder. And
I think the chip on his shoulder is because it's like the saying, like men can die from a death of 1,000 cuts, right? Like the news media, the legacy media, the pundits, I mean, they're just picking at him all the time. So you think that he's just a man like you and I.
Yeah.
Right? You have to think there's a point where he just says, fuck all this shit, right? You just lose your shit. So I think he kind of lost his shit in the New York Times thing.
I loved it.
I loved
loved
it
it. Go fuck yourself. How awesome was that for him to do that in that setting? I think the setting to me is more impressive.
When I first saw that, the thing that I actually immediately went to in my brain was he's actually living the ethos of what he wants Twitter to be.
Yeah.
Truly free speech.
Yeah.
He's exercising his truest First Amendment rights from the Bill of Rights, that he could say whatever he wants in that forum, and he did it in the most egregious way too. I mean, the host guy, he couldn't even let himself enjoy it. No. He couldn't let himself laugh. It's like, bro, you're sitting with one of the most brilliant minds in your lifetime. He's saying something that's clearly egregious against the context of what's going on in this New York Times area. And you can't chuckle. You can't snicker, bro. He's just like holding in and like, fuck, I don't want to lose my job. I'm like, bro, be human. Seriously, you know what I'm saying?
I thought it was great. So today, we're going to tip our hats to Elon. And maybe we'll go back to worrying that he's going to become an evil overlord next week.
Well, if he's Batman, right? He's not the hero we wanted, but he's the hero we deserve.
Maybe. Side note, Cybertruck. Bro,
Didn't you?
I want one.
Wait, you
I'm on the
put
list.
money on it, didn't
Yeah,
you?
I'm on the list.
Was it $500?
It was $100.
$100.
But I put my name on the list, I think day 2 or 3.
So I just saw Marquez Brownlee
Yeah.
do his 45-minute overview of the Cybertruck, and I was just I'll say it the way I say it, very unimpressed.
Really?
Really, it just didn't. First off, it looks like a block of cheese.
Yes, it's awesome.
It's hard for me to get over that. Maybe I just need to change my models around what beauty is. But secondly, none of the aesthetic of it made me feel like this was something I wanted to be in. Now, maybe it's how I appreciate cars. I appreciate cars for the aesthetic, the sound, the visceral driving experience, these types of things. Man, that Cybertruck seemed like a hospital, clinical and cold.
Well,
does that make sense?
First off, you have to remember that it's a truck.
I have trucks.
Yeah. So it's a truck.
But a Jeep truck has character. Like an F-150 Raptor has character.
Yeah,
especially
but
V8.
This thing goes 0-60 like 2.6 seconds.
Yeah,
That's a truck. That's awesome. It's gonna blow by everybody.
So you're on the list. So what number are you? Do you know?
I'm like number 200,000.
Oh shit! Really that far back? I thought you were like one of the top 10, 20, 30,000 or something.
I think 200,000 will put me, because not everyone's gonna buy it in 200,000, right?
True.
That will put me maybe in a first 12 month.
Really?
Mhm.
And if you get the allocation, you're going to execute?
Yeah, I have to, right?
You don't have to. It's
I mean-
$100, bro.
I mean, I have to.
Why?
I don't know. I don't want to waste my money.
All right, guys, in the comment section below, if you made it this long, let us know whether Matt Kim should buy the Cybertruck. If you're in Discord or Telegram, let us know. Should Matt Kim buy the Cybertruck? Yes or no? I'm sure we have someone who can help us with a poll.
So, not only are we just gonna buy it, but
What do
we're
you
gonna
mean?
put like a push guard on it.
Oh.
We're gonna put some lights on it. We're gonna put some wheels on it.
You know, it is a good advertising.
It's a cool ass car to work on.
If you skin it like with a wrap of Matt Kim podcast.
No, I'm not gonna do that.
Why not? If you're gonna buy a Cybertruck, you might as well go all out.
Dude, can I tell you what happened today? I got an oil change before I left for Korea. I was supposed to go to a funeral this morning, for a kind of a distant relative in Augusta. I was on my way there, and my car was smoking from the front of the car.
Okay.
So I pulled over, and there is like oil in the engine bay. I'm like, man, what the hell happened? So I drove back because I can't drive all the way to Augusta. It's 3 hours there and 3 hours back. I can't drive all the way there with a smoking car. So I drove back to the dealership because that's where I recently got serviced. It's been sitting in the airport parking lot for the last 2.5 weeks since I've been in Korea. I was like, what the hell's going on? Why is there oil everywhere? Why is this thing smoking? Someone had either not put back the oil cap onto the car when they changed the oil, or someone removed the oil cap at some point. I had no oil cap.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's like the most basic ass thing.
I had no oil cap.
That's like so basic.
In my mind, I'm thinking, and the guy was like, oh, we're so sorry. We didn't put it back. And I'm thinking, damn, what if someone took it off my car?
They'd have to get in, right?
And I don't know. And then I'm starting to feel paranoid about shit, right? Because my internet went out after I did. Dude, my internet went out the morning after I did my live stream with Ashton Forbes.
Yeah.
Talking about the crazy orbs and the teleportation technology that the U.S. government allegedly has. After I did that stream, the very next morning, my internet stopped working.
Of course it did.
And I had to call AT&T. And usually they're like, oh, yeah, we'll figure it out or we can turn it on. They're like, oh, yeah, we'll send someone right away. I'm like, huh. When do you send someone like immediately?
Well, AT&T is the government.
And within that day, someone showed up at my house and they did something. They reinstalled brand new lines. And the guy goes, oh, I got to go inside and take a picture. I'm like, wait, but it works. He's like, no, but we're supposed to go inside and take a picture. I was like, okay. Welcome to my house. You know what I mean? So the guy came to my house and took a picture of my internet before he left.
Like the lines, the cables, the box? What else did he take a picture of?
I don't know.
Wait, you weren't with him?
He just took a picture of like where my my router was, and
Why does that matter?
I don't know.
Why does it fucking matter?
I don't know.
I'm like really confused, bro.
Why does my internet go out right after I do probably the two most controversial interviews I've ever done, which is we interviewed the QAnon shaman.
Which, by the way, was an awesome interview.
Yeah, the guy's interesting.
But you could also say he's intelligent.
Extremely smart. And then 2 days later, we did the orb guy.
Yeah, your trajectory was headed towards.
And then immediately, I have AT&T in my house taking a picture of my router.
Yeah, the QAnon and then going to like flying orbs. I mean, your trajectory. I mean, next thing you'd be talking about is the Greys and the aliens, right? And like then what, the Nephilim or something like that.
And the guy
giants.
was in my house. He took a picture. He left. And I thought about it for a little bit. And I was like, I feel safe.
This game is going to get him all paranoid, Will.
Because I am going out of town for 2 weeks. And now I know that the FBI is watching my house. So thank you. I don't have to worry about anyone breaking in. Right? FBI's got it. They're on patrol. So FBI, man. Thank you guys.
We're good. We're good. Matt Kim's back. He did nothing crazy over in North Korea. Sorry, South Korea. Nothing like that.
I wanted to go to the border. I wanted to go to the DMZ. We just didn't make it there. We were gonna go, but it just ended up being so damn cold.
Well, let's talk about the Korea trip. Two full weeks. It's really nice to visit the homeland, the motherland. You know, and kind of reconnect with your roots, because that always kind of feels good, and it's just great to be around Korean culture. Full stop. But tell us about the trip and what'd you do?
So going into Korea, it always feels weird because I look really Korean. And obviously, my parents are Korean, my grandparents are Korean, my everyone in my family is Korean, my wife is Korean. But when I go to Korea, I stand in the foreigner line. Right? As soon as you get to Korea, I'm standing in the foreigner line. And I'm like, huh.
Question real quick. Does that make you feel bad?
It's weird.
Does it make you feel like you're not part of the motherland that you feel like you should? Because there's something about standing in the foreign line, going to the motherland, makes you feel like maybe I'm not as connected as I should be, or maybe that's just me overthinking things.
Yeah, it felt a little like that because the group in front of me were like a couple of these Chinese ladies. Behind me were these group of Japanese guys, young guys that looked like they came here to just hang out and party a little bit. And it's me just standing by myself because I flew, by myself. And I'm standing in there, and the group in front of me doesn't speak Korean. The group behind me doesn't speak Korean. I speak Korean fluently. And I'm sitting there going, I'm the foreigner too. I felt weird. It was a really odd, weird feeling.
Emotional, damn it.
But then when we came back to the United States and I stood in the USA citizen line and all the Koreans on the flight with me were going to the foreigner line, I was like, look at you foreigners. You know what I mean? So, it's weird. It's such a weird thing to be labeled as something as you enter countries. I don't know. The experience was odd.
So they didn't ask you any funny questions? They're just like, why are you here?
No, but they do take like your picture and your biometrics and your thumbprint. Ooh. And that was odd. They didn't used to do that.
Well, did you know that's not required?
You have to. Really?
It's not required.
Dude, they were pretty adamant.
I'm going to tell you this. The next time you go to the airport, because they do the biometrics and the scanning at the airport, at the ATL.
No. In Korea, in order to get into the country, as a foreigner, you got to give your biometrics.
Well, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
So I don't know about that, but I do know the ones in America are not required. They're voluntary, but they hide the signs so that most people think that you should do the biometric and the face scan, but you don't have to. Now, that's me saying like, okay, understand your rights, make an informed decision. At the end of the day, do you have a driver's license? Yeah, they already fuck off all you guys.
And I have TSA pre-check.
Yeah, I have TSA. Yeah, come on. Fuck off. They already have all my information. They already have all your information anyway. So I think a lot of it just makes life more complicated when you try to exercise your rights, and it's just like, bro, they already have all your information anyway. Just get your fucking face scanned. Just get it done. No, seriously.
So I was in Korea, and my wife's cousin let us stay in his condo for five days or so. We were there.
Where is this?
Uijeongbu, which is a small city north of Seoul. It's a small city of like 1 million people. It's not that small of a city, but to Korea, it's a small city, a satellite city. About 1 million people there, and we stayed in his condo. And it's one of these big new condos, so it's like 10 buildings, 30 stories high.
Like high rise, yeah.
High rise, like a group of 10 of them. And staying there made me think of this whole push towards 15-minute cities.
Yes.
Because we're in this condo, we're on the 25th floor or something, and every single day, ding dong ding, hello residents, hope you're having a great day. Just a reminder that today on building 4, 5, and 6, we're going to be doing a security check, and every single day there's a new message. Ding dong ding, hello residents, hope everyone's having a great day. Every single day you get one. And while I'm listening to it every morning, I'm like, dude, I feel like I'm in a movie.
That's a Black Mirror. That's some Black Mirror shit.
This is so creepy.
That's some futuristic Black Mirror shit.
Yeah.
That they get you programmed. So like here's the scariest part. There are children that are being born in those, and that's
normal.
That they'll be normalized.
And when you go in via your NFC on your phone, they know when you come in, when you leave, what time you come in. The building logs all your travel. There are cameras. The weirdest thing about Korea is that there are cameras everywhere.
It wasn't always like that.
I know. But now it's not only are there cameras in the street, in every single building, in every single entranceway, in every single hallway, but every single car also has cameras.
Yep.
You are under 24-hour surveillance there.
Just like London.
And you can feel it.
Yeah.
It was the weirdest thing.
No, you've been to China too.
Yes.
And in China, they have tons of cameras too. You've been to London. I've been to London. They have tons of cameras too. What was really interesting over the last 2 decades for me is seeing the amount of cameras and surveillance just slowly grow to the point where it's not suffocating, but you clearly know it's there.
Yes.
And so that, would you say, let me ask you, would you say, does that actually modify your behavior? That's the question. That's the line, right? Because I can appreciate this is here, but if this was gasoline in here, it would change my behavior. I wouldn't be drinking this shit. I probably wouldn't even touch it, right? But it's harmless in and of itself. The fact that it's there and it's poison, I'm going to act differently around it.
I'm going to say it does, because if it didn't happen, but if I had something in my pocket and I wanted litter, or if I had been smoking a cigarette and I decided I'm going to throw it into the street, it would make you pause because you know you're being watched.
See, so here's the moral and ethical the consideration. Is it better for you to be compliant because of a big brother overseer that's watching you all the time, or would it have been better for you ethically and morally to litter for freedom's sake?
So weird, isn't it? Because of all the surveillance, the city is safer. It's also no guns. It's safer. People don't jaywalk because there are cameras everywhere watching you jaywalk. They also don't jaywalk in China. They also don't jaywalk in Japan.
Well, in China, they have TVs as big as this that show you the jaywalkers.
And they automatically withdraw the fine from your account.
Not only that, but they also have TVs on buses that remind you not to hang out with these people because their social credit score is too low.
Which I can see how that comes.
That is Black Mirror.
I know.
100%.
And being in Korea, I could see the future of what they're trying to do because I felt like I lived it.
Tell me, what are they trying to do? I'm curious.
I mean, we've seen this everywhere in the United States.
Is it a
now.
true controlled state?
Yes. Everything
Absolute
is
control?
controlled. Everything is surveilled. And through the media and TV and propagandist type content, they control your mind. And they're able to promote certain ideas. I talked about this stream, but I'll talk about it again. It was the weirdest thing. So there is a trend in Korea where I forget what they call it, but it has something to do with drinking iced coffee when it's cold. It's a trend. So I went to the coffee shop.
Pause for a second. The fuck did you just say?
Drinking iced coffee when it's cold outside is a hashtag or one of these new trends, right? There's a word for it. Everyone knew it.
They're all doing it.
So when I went to the coffee shop in Korea,
It looks like I'll do it.
over 90% of the people were drinking iced coffee. It's 30 degrees outside.
That's what I'm saying. The fuck?
It is literally freezing outside, maybe even snowing. And everyone is drinking iced coffee because that's the trend.
That's some shallow ass shit.
It was the weirdest thing. People
that's-
are on their second and third iced coffee, and it's freezing outside. So I need hot coffee. I'm the only asshole, me and the 90-year-old grandma, because she's 90 and she don't give a fuck what other people are doing. Me and her, the only ones drinking hot coffee.
That's because you're a boomer to them.
And the entire whole cafe of like 40 people in there are all drinking iced coffee.
That's some mind control shit.
It's so weird.
That's some mind control
And I was like,
shit.
why is everyone? And my wife's like, oh, you don't know? It's like, and she, whatever the trend name was,
I gotta ask my wife. She knew about this.
everyone is drinking iced coffee in the cold because that's what's popular right now.
And what would make it even more sitcom-ish is if the moment that you order that hot coffee, everyone swivels and stares at you at the
Yes.
same time. It's like, why are you not compliant?
Yeah.
Like, 누구야? Who are you? Like, who do you think you are, man? Going against the regime. Like, I literally lost my shit for a second. Drink iced coffee
When it's cold outside.
when it's cold.
It's true.
Yeah.
Doesn't
Yeah.
make any-
Will was just in Korea. Everyone does it.
And you go out to eat lunch, and then you see everyone walking back to the office with an iced coffee in
That
their
doesn't
hand.
make any sense. It's cold as hell in Korea.
Yeah.
Like
especially
during
this time of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I live there. I know.
Hands are
Shit.
freezing,
Yeah, you-
shaking, carrying their iced coffee.
Yeah.
in the
And if you're, you know,
cold.
and if you're a salary man and you have some semblance of, I guess, fashion sense, you're wearing those nice gloves. So it
They're
just
gonna get wet.
that's stupid. Everything's stupid.
So that was weird. I also noticed that when I went to, we went to the mall and we're in the food court.
Is it coex?
We went to a bunch of them all over the place. The shinseges and
I
whatever.
shouldn't say.
All the servants wear masks
Why do you say it like that? Servants.
because all the workers that have the lowest level jobs, the ones
Oh,
that
I
work
understand
behind
what
the
you mean.
counter,
It's just an
the
interesting
ones
term.
that,
The slaves. You're saying the slave class.
all the ones that do the cleaning, all the ones that you don't want to be, the people that feel like they are, because Korea is built on this Confucius hierarchy system,
It's
right?
cultural.
It's a cultural thing. So people aren't aware in Korea, everything is Confucius ladder. So you have to show respect to people that are older than you. You have to show respect to the people that have higher title than you.
Yep.
You don't ever refer to people by first name, but by title and relationship.
Right.
And you don't ever say you. You actually talk to people in the third person.
Right.
It's a very Confucius type thing of class structure. The people in the class lowest to you all wear masks.
The janitors, the
Have to.
servers.
Have to wear masks.
So I
hate that.
that's exactly what I was going to say. I hate that because we saw, even as lockdown was kind of breaking out or fading away, is that we saw all our politicians, and I'm talking about American politicians. They would go to all these luncheons and these things, and the slave class, the servants, right, the butlers, they were all wearing masks, while the elites, at these tables, these banquets, were all, non-masked. And the juxtaposition, obviously, of seeing like a Nancy Pelosi, a Chuck Schumer, I mean, it's just like, you guys are a bunch of assholes.
Yeah.
Clearly. But what makes what you're saying really sinister is that it's become institutionalized.
Yes.
It's not just an elite, the elite of the elite politicians and, the slave class who serves them. We're now moving into normalization mode where even normies like you and I, Joe Schmoes like you and I, there's a class division between us now.
Correct.
And the slave class or the servant class or, the blue collar class, whatever you want to call them. And the thing is there's no difference between you and I and them.
No.
There is a difference between you and I and Pelosi and Chuck Schumer, clearly. Like, we're not fucking psychopaths. We're not narcissistic, crazy people.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. I mean, we have a podcast after all.
Yeah, listen to us. We're important.
But now we're foot in the mouth, guys. Foot in the mouth. Who makes you believe that you know what's good for the country, Matt Kim? But understand my point, right? They're creating even a deeper division there, and that's really sad. That's really unfortunate. It's sad. It's sad to hear that.
Yeah, and God forbid you are Miss Curry and Karen that shows up to the mall, and the person that's helping you is not wearing your mask, because all hell would break loose. How dare you not wear your mask because I am one level of class above you? It's a really weird thing. I didn't feel comfortable about it. On the other hand, the closer you go to the center of the richer part of
Metropolitan
Korea and of Seoul, I'm going to say 30% of people wear masks voluntarily. They are still doing the mask dance. It's like virtue signaling.
Ooh.
Right? So many people show up to Starbucks dressed. They got the Chanel bag. They're looking real good. They got their mask on.
I know exactly.
They show up to the Starbucks Reserve. You order your $10 coffee, but you got to take off your mask to drink it. I can't believe they're still doing that dance. The virus is very polite, and it waits for you to finish your meal.
It's also the smog issue that they have.
It's not, because they wear it inside the malls.
I think I would agree with Matt here. I think it's more of a virtue signal of like holier than thou type attitude.
Yeah. God forbid I get your stench on me.
Did you watch any of the like KBS or the mainstream news channels there when you were there? Because I'm wondering what they're being fed. Because if we know American TV just feeding Americans absolute bullshit and just telling them that you need to do this, do this, do this. I'm wondering if Korea, their mainstream media, their legacy media is also propagandizing them just as hard.
It's extremely propagandized.
Well, I think the thing that I was thinking about is whether they haven't let go of the leash as much as I guess American media has, because we've now seen in American media, even CNN, some of these TV hosts are actually kind of questioning the narrative, and questioning COVID, and questioning the efficacy of the vaccine and these types of things, and they're getting a little bit of pushback here and there. But I wonder where Korea sits. Are they so controlled by the powers that be where they're still holding on to these very rigorous control techniques and control narratives where Koreans maybe aren't virtue signaling, they actually feel like they need to do it because it's unsafe?
No,
they don't. I'm just asking the question.
I actually saw something where the Korean government is actually paying out in damages due to the vaccines. Yeah, so
that's progressive.
So the Korean president is a pretty conservative guy.
I'm going to be honest with you, man. I'm just going to cut you off. How many times your eyes shift to this And there's a girl. Have you noticed that? Have you noticed that, Will? Dude, how many times?
Dude, it's really distracting
He's
in here.
talking to me, and then his eyes go over
It's
here.
really distracting
and
in
then
here.
when your eyes go over there, I go over there. I'm
Matt's
like,
got
okay.
shifty eyes.
you
I don't know whose
shifty-ass
bright
motherfucker.
idea it was to have all these K-pop girl videos in the background, but it's really distracting, by the way.
Yeah.
I feel like
It's been a little distracting.
I bet you are like
Audience is loving
audience
it.
view time actually like physically watching us talk is the highest it's ever been.
Though. Probably.
It's got to be.
Is it boobies?
I don't.
No,
And
it's not the
they're
boobies.
just everywhere.
There's no boobies.
They're everywhere, everywhere. The Korean president is a pretty conservative guy, and he actually, I think it was earlier in this year that MBC, which is one of the major Korean legacy media, they did a hit piece on him, and he sued them for defamation.
Oh, really?
So, and then they called him the Korean Trump in all of this. Funny how that works. So, because he did his own version of fake news. Yeah.
So, so what else? Did you have some good family time out there? Get some leisure time? Did you get any sightseeing in? What else did you do when you're out there in Korea?
So I bought this hoodie there, and I bought this because in Korea, everybody wears black,
Man, like the cars, it's
white, gray, black.
Yep.
But everybody, it's when you walk, because everyone walks in Korea. The streets are flooded with people, and all you see is black jackets. So me being me and wanting to be different, I bought the brightest damn hoodie I could find. And when we were walking out on the street, my wife and daughter definitely know where I'm at all times. It was our way of being not getting too separated
that's
because there's
pretty
people everywhere.
Yeah, that's pretty
If
good.
I wore a black jacket and a hoodie or black, then if we got separated by more than 3 people, there's no way to identify because everyone's Korean. Everyone looks the same. All look same, bro. All look same.
True.
Yeah.
True.
So, so I bought this. I wore it, and at all times, my family knew where I was.
That's good. That's
And
good.
I told my wife, I said, if I was a single man living in Korea, I would only wear bright clothing. Because in a sea of
for the
everyone,
peacocking.
yeah, in a sea of everyone looking exactly the same, this would make you different and stand out just by wearing color.
Yeah, but you might attract like some of the hoochies though.
I mean, if I was a single man, and my goal was to attract the hoochies, I'm wearing bright color. So if you're in Korea and you're like, oh, I don't know why the girls don't like me, try something different. Stop trying to be like everybody else and wearing a black coat because everybody has a black puffer coat on.
Oh, that's
Everybody.
true. That's true. So there's always negatives about every country, and I think it's easy for us being Korean, having lived there, gone back and visited and all that stuff, cultural roots, et cetera, for us to dig into our own mother country because that's just what you do. But there might be people in our audience who are actually really interested in visiting Korea. So if you were to give them any ideas, why should someone who's interested in visiting Asia visit Korea specifically? What would be your top 3 reasons why they should visit?
Well, number one, Korea is a beautiful country. Imagine, if you want to imagine what Seoul is like, it's like New York City, but instead of being flat marshland, you're in the middle of mountains. So it's like being in this huge mega city, but there are these beautiful mountains in the backdrop everywhere you look. I think it's beautiful. I think it's so amazing. And I think that makes it a little more interesting of a city than, say, New York City, which is just everything's so flat. Number 2, the exchange rate is fantastic right now.
Yes.
You get like 1.3 to 1
Yes.
going to Korea.
And the yen too. Amazing.
And in Korea, when you eat, there's no tip. So not only do you get 20, 30% more value on your dollar, but you save 20% in tip. So you're actually getting everything at 50% discount.
I would say almost even more, depending on how much panchan they have, which is all the extra side dishes that they give you, because sometimes those are unlimited.
Yes.
So you could just like eat your heart out there.
The food is fantastic. It's very affordable. It's not as healthy as people think. Because when people think Korean food, they think it's very healthy. See, now I'm going back into negatives. Everything in Korea is fried or carbs.
Yeah, but they
So
balance
fried,
it.
heavy, and carb.
Yeah,
everything.
But if you look at the panchan, if that panchan really balances out all.
That panchan is not,
Well,
unless
that's
you go
pickled-
to like a Korean restaurant,
Well, that's what I'm saying.
which most people don't. It's all like these like trendy type of new style foods. Korea's a very trendy country.
I'm surprised.
Traditional Korean food is not trendy.
So I'm well, maybe you didn't actually say it, so maybe I'm making assumptions here. But whenever I go to Korea, man, I'm just hanging out at all the ajumma, old lady shikdangs, the old lady like hole in the walls, because that is where the best Korean like
Or just shijangs.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
dude. And again, it's not trendy food. It's just pure basic ass like good traditional food. But man, it's the best though.
But if you're not from Korea, then the chance of you rolling into an all Korean run by old lady Korean restaurant is very low.
Yeah.
You're gonna go to places that market to you, and the restaurants that are marketed to you are ones that are more westernized, and everything that's westernized or tailors towards maybe the middle to younger market would be fried food and carbs. Everything is fried and carbs.
Fair enough.
The chicken is fried, the breads are fried, the beef, everything is fried, which is concerning.
But they probably fry it in less saturated fat bullshit that America does for sure.
I don't even think they changed the oil, man.
They're not like the Chinese that just dig the oil out of the sewers. Do
It's similar.
Oh shit, you're not gonna be like that. Okay, so we went through 2. The city has a lot to do. Beautiful city, mountainous, like
Good value.
good value. 2, food. What else? Why should someone visit Korea? Why would be Korea? Why should Korea be on your bucket list if you want to go to Asia?
Infrastructure.
I think it depends on.
The subway system is amazing.
Subways are good. I don't really like taking subways.
Oh, that's for the plebs.
Yeah. That's for the mask wearers.
You high class, you hoity-toity motherfucker. Damn.
He also didn't stay in Seoul, so
Oh, that's true. That's
Yeah.
true.
The
So but you weren't out in like the Shigor.
no,
like
no,
the countryside.
no. I mean, we're in a city, just not in the middle of Seoul.
I know where you are.
We've
I know
done
exactly where you are anyway.
because we've done Seoul a bunch of times, and Seoul is. If you watch a lot of K-drama or K-pop, people feel like they know Korea.
Well, that's because they're only showing Itaewon and Gangnam.
It's like saying, and people say, "Oh, Koreans are so beautiful," which there are a lot of beautiful Koreans. It's like saying all Americans are beautiful because I watched Selling Sunset, or I know
Friends.
Friends, or I've seen all the. If I understand what Americans look like because I've been to LA. LA has a disproportionate amount of beautiful women living in that city.
Or Miami.
Or Miami. Or say, I know what Americans look like because I've been to Brickell. Right?
Yeah.
It's not a fair comparison.
Fair enough.
There is a small section of Seoul, which is Gangnam, Apgujeongdong, maybe into Itaewon, and maybe into a couple of those areas. It's like a 3-4 mile radius.
Yeah.
Where all the beautiful people live and where all the wealth is. I'm going to say
and the plastic surgeons.
all the plastic surgeons are. I think maybe 80% of the wealth of the country is in that small area.
You're probably not wrong.
Once you get out of there, Korean people look normal. They all kind of look like us. All look same.
So Will went to Busan. So Busan is like the Miami, right, of Korea. And so Will, what would you say? The Busan city versus Seoul city. What would you say would be the distinct difference between those 2 cities?
I mean, it's definitely a coastal city, and it's definitely a country city. It's definitely more laid back and basically like the coastal cities here, a little more laid back than like the inner cities. You know what I mean?
It's like Miami
Yeah.
6-7 years ago.
And there's a lot more Japanese influence in Busan.
Right, because there's even a direct ferry that goes to Japan
That's right.
from Korea, from Busan.
Yeah. We went to Jeju.
Oh.
So we were in Jeju for 5 days.
For those
Jeju
who
Island.
don't know, Jeju is like the Hawaii of Korea.
Yeah, it's kind of like Hawaii. It's not as warm, but it was a volcano, not active volcano. So we were there for 5 days. It's nice.
Do you like it there? I think it's played out. I think it's hyped up.
The best pork I've ever eaten in my life, we ate there. So
Is it the pork they bury under the sand? For
yeah,
like
Jeju
10
is
days?
known for black pig.
Oh, I feel like I knew that.
So they have these black pigs, and we went to this restaurant that did
Wait. Do you think they bury it under the sand because they call it hooked edgy?
It's hooked because it's black, not because it's sand. Sorry, a little Korean knowledge for Peter here.
I was like, wait a minute.
It's black because it's the color.
And everyone watching still doesn't know the joke. Oh shit! I just learned something.
I went to this restaurant that had dry aged black pig, and it was by far the best pork I've ever had in my life. So that was fun, but bro, coming back here, it's the best.
So
I love America.
that's what I was about to say. Just going to Korea for 2 weeks, kind of freshen your perspective and help you appreciate America for what it is.
I feel like
Warts and all.
I feel like every time I leave this country, when I come back, I'm like ready to kiss the ground.
Really?
Yeah, I love it here. I love it here, and more than this country, I love Georgia.
Oh, I agree with you there.
As soon as you get out, like you get in the car and you're driving, and then all of a sudden there's trees and there's separation between people.
Yeah.
Whereas usually when I travel and I travel to a city, I'm traveling in an Asian city, which is just people on top of each other. And everyone's literally living shoulder to shoulder in like these small concrete boxes. And you come back and everyone's got room to stretch and reach out and breathe because the air is so much cleaner here. And it's so much less dry. Korea is so dry.
Yeah. I always get chapped lips when I'm out there, especially during the winter.
I think it's because they have the heat come from the floors. So there's just heat coming up from the floors. And then they're so concerned about purification of air that everywhere you go, it's air purifier on all the time.
Taking all the moisture
air.
Yep.
And I was just like so clogged and so congested. And it was just...
Well, we get a lot of the bad air from China, too.
Yes.
Coming across.
All the industrial air coming over. And they have to clean that for people. So I get why. But it's like living in an airplane. Just recycled air constantly.
The one thing that I think for those who haven't experienced Asia and the congestion that's out in Asia, whether you go to China, Korea, or Japan, the major cities, it's just like it's just humans moving on each other all the time. And when you come back to America, everything, you said the best word for it, you feel like you can breathe.
Yes.
It's like, okay, there's nobody around me. Like, this feels great. And I can drive, and actually there's like nobody on the road right now. And there's trees. I love it. Absolutely. Every time I come back from Asia, that's exactly how I feel. I want to get back in my car. I want to drive on a clean, fast road, and I don't want to see nobody.
I'm just so glad to be back. I've missed here. And as much as I love being there, and I appreciate being over there, and I appreciate the culture of it, and I love going to like the older, more historical sites. I think I'm getting older. I enjoy that stuff more.
You enjoy the tradition.
I enjoy that much more than the kind of the partying, hanging out, and the trendy type stuff because the trends move so fast.
You're too old for that shit anyway.
Over that. And I'm very observational of the people. I like talking to like the cab drivers and the people at the restaurant. I just love talking to like the random people and asking them questions. I'm always asking all these questions. My wife is like, oh, do you have to ask him this? I'm like, I'm curious.
Well, yeah, this is a life that's not known.
Yeah. And I was like, how's the economy? How's business for you? And they all say the same thing. Oh, ever since COVID, and I hate that. I hate that in most people's minds in the world, they think that COVID changed their life. COVID had nothing to do with your life being changed. The reaction to COVID and the draconian measures implemented due to COVID is what changed your mind, changed your life.
I correct people on that. When people say, "Oh man, it was lockdown,"
Yeah,
that changed their life. It wasn't COVID; it was lockdown.
Because COVID, sorry to break it to you, still here.
Yeah, and apparently those years we had like 0 flu cases, which was really cool too.
Interesting.
Yeah,
interesting how that works.
Yep.
Yeah, COVID is still here.
So
they never changed it. They never stopped it.
Is this a new chapter for Matt? Is the Matt Kim podcast going to be more positivity and American loving? Are you going to be even more MAGA?
America.
Are you going to love that America? Sweet tea,
I love
shotguns.
me some America.
Exactly. Is that what we're going to get now?
I mean, we're getting into election season. And I think it's important that we continue to discuss this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think more now than ever. I think we're almost having a platform and having people that share our ideology and share our way of thought.
Free thinkers.
I think it would be reckless of us not to spend time moving into 2024 to spend considerable time on election.
So I said this before we hit record and started this stream. For someone who's not in the political world, not in politics, I mean, I get the fringe, and I dig deep sometimes, but I am really looking forward to this election cycle.
Yes.
It's gonna be a fucking shit show of epic proportions. And then when I say shit show, there's other words I could use. It's going to be something we've never seen before.
Yeah,
we have probably the most highly contentious context rolling into this 2024 election season. We have the front runner who is hated by half of America, apparently. And Orange Man Bad, who's being indicted, who's going through the court and legal system. We have these MAGA warriors behind it. We have these Q and the Anons, and we have these conspiracies that have just popped up over the last 5-8 years of absolute craziness. We're coming off of 8 years of Barack Hussein Obama. We got Biden, who's asleep at the wheel, and we've had enough video evidence that half the time it's probably not him; it's just a body double, and he's completely ineffective. We have the Ukraine war, which I feel like is running its line. We can talk about that a little bit later, but I feel like we're running out of steam there. We got Israel, we got Palestine, we got bombs ready to explode. We got crazy Asian dudes exploding in their houses right next to DC. Like, guys, is this not going to be an amazing election season?
and it's just a Tuesday.
It's just Tuesday, guys, and you guys are seeing this on Thursday or whatever. But for someone who's not political, I'm really looking forward to this amazing sitcom that we're going to see.
I think this election, and I feel like people say this on every election. I feel like this is the most important election in the history of our lives.
Period. Full stop. Absolutely.
And I think people need to be ready for it. Is there a possibility that this election doesn't even happen?
I mean, we have the highest amount of censorship, surveillance we were talking about in Korea. We have revisionist history happening all the time. I mean, what a time to be alive. Who knows? We have this billionaire, Elon Musk, sitting in New York Times saying, fuck all y'all, I'm going to do how I do, free speech for the win. I mean, the cast of characters and personalities coming into this 2024 election, Matt, I'm actually excited.
And can we drop in all the new AI bots that are manipulating the way we think and that we have to start arguing with?
When you were gone, we had the entire Sam Altman AI snafu.
That was crazy.
It was awesome.
Crazy.
Ups and downs. AGI is here. Some people are saying the board found out that AGI emerged and we have a real artificial intelligence roaming the streets right now. Like, Lord Jesus, when you coming back? Seriously. For someone who's not into politics, I'll tell you, I never had HBO until I got hooked into Game of Thrones. And I would buy the HBO subscription just to watch Game of Thrones, and then I would cancel it. I would pay double to see the insides of what's going on in 2024 election, man. It's going to be fucking a hoot.
And being Asian and being Asian American, it's weird when I say I'm Asian American because I don't feel Asian American. I'm like very Korean. And although I
shouldn't you say Korean American then?
That's what I mean. Like all Asians get pulled into like this bucket of Asian and Asian American. And it's always odd to me because Korean Americans are so different than Vietnamese Americans, or so different than Chinese Americans, or so different than Japanese Americans. Like, other than the fact that we have black hair and slanty eyes, there's very little shared between the cultures and communities and histories, right? Even the food, maybe we all eat rice, but, like a lot of people in the world eat rice. I don't think that counts. Sorry, did I just go over that one too quick?
No, I just find it fascinating that the commonality is slanty eyes and black hair.
That's literally it. other than the fact that they tell us we're all the same, we're actually so different. And the way we live our lives are different. The family structure is different. And the hierarchy of our worlds are different. Anyway, as an Asian American, and there's this interesting stat, all right? I don't have the exact number on me, but they say that Asians lean heavily liberal, right?
Yes, we've been told that for many, many years, yes.
And something they say, I think Vietnamese Americans are the most conservative of all the groups, where they're the only subsection of Asians that are more Republican than Democratic. And they said, like, Korean Americans or Koreans, they say are like 60-something percent.
60-40, yeah.
60-40 liberal to conservative. And I thought about it. Where do most Korean Americans and Koreans live?
Well, in Seoul.
No, like in America.
Oh.
LA? And New York.
Yeah. That's
LA
true.
and New York. LA is by far the biggest.
And we have the biggest contingency of Koreans in Atlanta, in the southeast here. So Atlanta's leaning more left these days.
So if you think that most Koreans, if you take the biggest percentage that they live in LA, what's the liberal to conservative ratio in LA? 70-30? Something like that?
Yeah, it depends on the county. Some counties are
Even more?
even more, yeah.
So if most Koreans live in LA and the LA ratio is 70-30, but the Korean ratio is 60-40, I would actually argue that Koreans are more conservative than people think.
I see the logic. Yes.
You see that?
Yeah, I get it.
Because they are more conservative than their surroundings.
Yes.
Because we shouldn't based on everybody. Because, like, what does a liberal Asian in LA have anything to do with someone that lives in another state? Their votes only matter where they live. They're actually lean more conservative in that area than. So I think I don't know. I just started thinking about that the other day.
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with family structure, right? Koreans still value traditional homes, and what I mean by traditional homes is that they have a mother, a father that are ideally still together. They, in many cases, are supporting their parents as their parents supported their parents. So there's a cultural consideration there. And so a lot of how you behave is based off of your family values and your family upbringing. And as long as Koreans generally have intact family units or nuclear families that are still together, then you're going to tend to have always a remnant or a pretty significant segment of your population that's going to be conservative because the family unit's together. So you said Vietnamese. Well, Vietnamese, a lot of the influence was Catholic influence, right? And that type of religion there. And so that, if you think of like Vietnamese or the Filipinos as basically Asian Mexicans, there's a joke in there somewhere. Then, right, because Mexicans are very Catholic, Hispanics are very Catholic, very kind of family values. So when you were talking about how the Vietnamese and maybe even the Filipinos being more conservative, well, it's because of the missionaries that went over there and evangelized to them Christian values and Western values.
I think the Vietnamese are more conservative because they understand what socialism looks like. They come from a socialist country.
That's true, too.
They live under communism, and that's why they escape.
That's true.
Because I think, and for sure Koreans, I'm going to say Asians, I'm going to say almost maybe all immigrants. All immigrants that come here are here for a reason. Because at some point in their family history, they were unsatisfied with how things were in their own country. It means that all immigrants in this country inherently in them have a little bit of anti-establishment.
I think to be American, actually, I'm cutting myself off here. I was going to say that to be American, I think I agree with you. You have to have some semblance of anti-establishment because America was founded on get the fuck out of my face, England. Yeah. Get the fuck out of my shit.
Yeah.
Like, stop taxing me from afar. Like, stop trying to control me from afar. So I think the seed of what established in it, what emerged from the people in the early Americas is like, fuck off, we're doing our own thing. So I think there has to be a semblance of rebellion in the culture of American citizenry here, and that makes a lot of sense to me. So if you're an immigrant, like now we have to be able to qualify. Immigrant is much different from the doctors and lawyers and engineers that are coming across the border, right?
Yeah. I mean, even them, they're trying to get away from something. You know? I don't want to go into that today because that's like another 4 hours on a completely different thread. All right. How do they make such a long trip in such a short period of time wearing flip-flops?
Yeah. Did you recently see the thousands of Chinese that are lined up at the border right now? Like, wait. What are you talking? What do you mean? Thousands of Chinese men, middle-aged men. Why are they coming through the Mexican border? The fuck? Okay, I'm done.
Okay.
I don't want to.
Okay. So,
questions for another day.
If right now we're told to believe that there's a left and there's a right, Democrats and Republicans, I think it's pretty clear from our conversations and people watching us, we're not like the most diehard Republicans at all.
I don't even vote.
We have conservative leaning values, especially around maybe fiscal policy and family. Both think that the liberal extreme is getting too extreme, too crazy, and that most people on the right are kind of full of shit and they're incompetent and they are fucking it up for everybody.
Pretty much. Sounds about right.
In this country right now, I think the two parties are not left and right. The two parties are people who enjoy and want to be controlled, and the people who want to be free and don't want to be controlled. I think that's a more fair assessment of how the country actually breaks down.
Ooh. That's an interesting bifurcation.
Yeah. Did you guys hear about the horseshoe theory?
No.
Where
What's this?
it's actually the extreme right and the extreme left is shaped in a horseshoe where the extremes are actually closer together than the middle.
Makes sense.
So it's the middle against the two ends.
Interesting. That makes a lot of sense. Both of these ideas resonate with me. I get it.
Although I think I think we are at the two ends, and the uniparty of control is the middle.
I wonder if we're all just singing the same tune. Maybe we all just love Big Brother and we just don't realize it.
I hate Big Brother. Although I appreciate the FBI for watching my house while I was gone.
What he really means is, Big Brother, I love you. Please, Daddy, can I have some more? Please, Daddy.
But I think that's really what it boils down to. Some people enjoy, because when I was in Korea, I've noticed that there's cameras everywhere. People feel safe.
That was
When I live in a 15-minute city and I'm on the 30th floor and they are ding dong ding, hello residents, welcome. They're like, great, they're gonna come clean my apartment today. They're gonna make sure I don't have any bugs. They're gonna make sure that my apartment is safe.
my ass.
They feel good. That's a service you pay extra for. Right? To have the extra surveillance, to be able to have the app on your phone to unlock your door and keep your whereabouts and notify you when your guests come.
So what you're saying is your experience living in a 15-minute city-esque type of environment for 2 weeks, you saw the future in which truly the WEF and Klaus Schwab are correct. You will own nothing, you'll be happy, and everything's subscription because you don't own anything, right? You subscribe to the water, you subscribe to the toothpaste, you subscribe to the wake up morning call. They wipe your ass for you with satin, right? And you don't own anything, but you're happy, right?
So when you buy something online right now, every time you check out, you get the option to pay in installments, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't do any of that shit. My wife does all that.
Anytime you buy something online these days, at checkout,
can you really? Installments?
Yeah,
Like-
pretty much
like-
everything you buy is
You're
on
talking about
installments.
layaway shit?
No, like, do you want to pay in 4 installments?
Oh, okay.
Or
Yeah, I
whatever,
understand,
5 installments. Even if it's $5, you get the option now.
Really?
It's all automated. In Korea, when you go to a restaurant,
No.
you get the option to pay in installments.
No.
So when you give them your credit card,
No.
every single time I gave my credit card, they would ask me, do I want to pay in full
No.
Or do you want to pay in installments?
No.
Yes.
No.
Not only is it online shopping, but it's rolled out into real life.
No.
And that means they're testing it there, and we'll see it here.
No.
When you go to your restaurant and you buy your Starbucks,
I don't like that.
Starbucks, you'll be given the option: do you want to pay your $6 at one point now, or do you want to pay six $1 installments for the next 6 months?
No.
You will own nothing.
No. That's
coming.
a terrible
Yeah.
trend.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
And it works
That-
because they
that-
ask you all the time.
That some people might not feel and like how I feel right now, but that is a terrible.
It's disgusting.
Debt is slavery.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they are trying to get everyone to get you on payments on everything.
So I'm real adamant against this, and I'll give you a small backstory, a little bit of context. I've told my children that, in no unclear terms, debt is slavery. Now there's some debt that is valuable and it can be managed, understood, peace, like mortgages, etc. Peace. But when you move into consumer debt, this is what we're talking about: consumer debt for a Starbucks coffee, $6 for $6. Like, you are under a yoke of slavery in which you now have lost control, true control. Because what if you don't pay?
Yep.
What if you don't pay for your coffee, man?
That's crazy. And they just add it up. You pay in payments here. You do payments here. You do payments here. You do payments here.
And that's where spending can get out of control.
Yes.
Because everyone's like, oh man, I'm this entire week, man, I only spent $10 on food. How'd you do that? Well, I just do it in installments.
Yep.
Like, do you know how much your balance is? Nah, man, it's all good. I think every month I'm only going to pay like,
It's only $1 a month.
I know, a couple dollars here a month,
Yeah.
brother, ain't no thing.
It just adds up.
But then when you're fucking 50 years old, they're like, they come to, oh man, this is not good.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
That's a terrible idea.
Terrible.
But they ask you pretty much everywhere you go. If you get a credit card, you're given the option. Do you want to pay? And I don't even know.
I can't
using an
believe they do
American credit card, if I can even say yes. I don't even know. But they ask everywhere.
I can't believe they're doing installments on food, bro.
Everything.
That's crazy.
Coffee shop, food. Pretty much anytime you give your credit card, you're given the option.
I want to know the percentage that are actually doing that.
It's got to be high for them to ask all the time. If no one said yes, then eventually the workers would be like, all right, I'm not going to ask anymore.
I wonder if it's credit card or government mandated.
It's got to be. I don't know what it is, but whatever it is, common.
That's scary.
It doesn't matter. Is it the same thing? If the bank is offering or the government's offering it, it's kind of the same thing though.
Yeah, but man, like the model is the yoke of slavery. It's choosing slavery every time you want to get a meal or you want to get a drink or you want to get a Starbucks coffee. It's terrible.
So you work your ass off. You work 50, 60 hours a week at a job that pays a salary. And you eventually achieve enough where you can live in a concrete box with 5,000 other people. And every day, ding dong ding, hello residents. You get the message. You feel good because that means you live in the nice place.
That reminds me of the movie The Island. Do you remember the movie The Island?
Yeah.
Where they would raise the clones so that they could be killed for, the actual people. Like, they would be woken up every morning with the ding dong ding. Like, this is what your schedule is today. Here's the lottery winner, right?
And I could only imagine, what if this was another pandemic and they decide, oh, you didn't get the new vaccine, we're just not going to let you out anymore.
Well, you've signed on that dotted line and you didn't read the fine print, did you? Because...
And you live in a concrete box. All they got to do is shut off your elevator. You can't get downstairs.
Yeah, and you signed the subscription waiver.
Yep.
Right? That says you're going to pay X whatever, and Matt, you no longer have access to amenities.
And not only do you have to pay your monthly rent, you also have to pay off your $1 coffee that you bought 6 months ago. You still owe that.
Bro,
How are you not going to comply? You owe coffee money.
I would kill myself. If someone came to me someday, knocked on my door, like, you haven't paid your food bill, your coffee bill
For 6 months ago?
6 months ago, I'd be like, the fuck? Like, I should just kill myself now. Like,
And
what a stupid...
Korea has the highest rate of suicide in the world.
Going back to Mr. Negative,
I know. But you can see it, and it's scary.
It
Because
is.
when you drive around town, especially in Georgia, and I think most cities now, you drive around the suburbs, and you see them coming up. These apartment complexes
Yeah.
with a couple of stores and restaurants and shops downstairs.
It's a little ecosystem.
They're building these ecosystem type apartments everywhere. They don't go vertical because we have space and land here. They go horizontal, but
They don't go vertical because it's cold.
But you
No, I read about this. That you know how they're all like 4 stories high, and they're popping up all across the country because that's the highest you can build with wood.
okay, that makes sense because there they use concrete
Yeah, legit. Steel.
and there's not as many trees here. They want you to use wood. Makes sense.
Fair enough.
But here you see the apartments and you pay. Even you might buy your condo, but you don't own the land. All you do is own the right to use their space. You're giving them money. It's the same exact thing they do in Asia. And they give you a little convenience and amenity so that you feel like you're somewhere. It's happening. They're already building the same exact thing, just instead of vertical, horizontal.
It's almost like the geriatric house where the old people go, right? Those what are those called again?
Senior centers?
Senior citizen centers. Like there's just these little islands of where you got your little play area, you got your dining area, you got your recreation
That's where all
area.
the sex parties happen. It's true.
It is true. Did you hear that? Did you know that?
It's first time hearing about this?
No, I just wonder why we're going there.
I don't know, Will. Why are you going there?
Why are we going there?
So weird.
Yes, for those who didn't know.
Emotional, damn
For
it.
those who didn't know, when you're past menopause and you're in a senior citizen house, they have so much free sex. And from what I understand from an article I read like 5 years ago, Will, like those senior citizen houses have the highest recidivism of STDs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they're just passing each other around, bro. Man, you're going to be a nasty motherfucker when you're old, bro.
He's like, when we moving in?
He's like, my wife is dead. My wife has been dead. I promised her 1 year, and now it's go time.
12 months.
12 months is
Let's
up, baby.
go.
Let's go. Where are you going? Miami? No, I'm going to the senior citizen living because, man, those biznatches got
Sunrise Apartments.
those bitches got everything I need without the teeth. Oh, jeez.
Oh, bro. Bro. I don't even know what you're talking about anymore.
None of the old people have teeth. It's like they're just gumming you. Mom.
Bro.
All right, what else are we talking about?
I don't know.
Elliot did just spit it out. All right.
Yes.
Yes. So we were talking about lots of sexy time in the senior citizen
In the
place.
senior citizen places, the ding dong ding.
Oh, yep.
Welcome, residents.
Yes.
It's a happy morning today. The weather outside is 35 degrees. It's sunny. And today we'll be doing a little check around to make sure that everyone's apartment is safe. Thank you for your compliance.
Oh, and today's lottery numbers for who's going to the island is 5521. You won, baby.
Send your kids.
No, hide your kids. Hide your wife.
Yeah. It's weird. It was weird. And as much as I love the country, when you see these weird trends and you see kind of what the conspiracies are in the United States and you see them actually in action, you're like, holy shit, it's fucking real. It's being tested.
So it's coming.
It's coming. It's 100% it's coming.
But here's the question, and I think this is to America's advantage. I think this is probably America's greatest advantage. I've brought it up several times in the podcast. I'll say it again. America's decentralized nature of how much land mass we have and how far apart these fucking states are from each other and major population cities from each other, that I think is going to slow the roll.
Is it?
It has to.
Because right now, interest rates are extremely high. The cost of homes are extremely high. And all of a sudden, they're popping up all these apartments with brand new amenities that have all these modern conveniences that all you got to do is sign on the X and all of a sudden you're locked in for 5 years. Do you think it's going to be that difficult to get people to move in those places?
I don't think it's going to be hard for the uninitiated and the ignorant to move into these, especially the hippies, because they'll do that because they just love to end their bloodlines. Good. end your bloodlines. But the states and the small cities that you don't hear about ever on the news are the places that you need to look into. Like, when was the last time you heard Kentucky in the news? Exactly. Go to Kentucky. Motherfuckers are chilling. They're enjoying life. And the reason I know this is because I have a friend of mine who lives in Kentucky, and he would tell you, like, nothing's fucking happening out here. Now, I mean, it's Kentucky. Peace. It's Kentucky.
A lot of math is happening.
Well, it's not Atlanta. It's not L.A. But, if you are willing to go out to Kentucky,
correct,
or West Virginia, or the deep state Mississippi, like, you could find holes in the world, in America, these small cities that are really just almost bring you back to like the 60s.
But you have to give up the modern conveniences.
You have to compromise.
You have to inconvenience yourself a little bit, and God forbid anybody in this day and age inconvenience themselves.
Well, see, but that's kind of the point I'm trying to make is, yes, are these 15-minute cities going to pop up? Absolutely. Are people going to get herded into these slave camps? Most likely. But it's going to be hard to take over, the Deep South. It's going to be hard to take over some of these
I don't think it's going to be that hard.
You don't think so?
I mean, where we are in Duluth, just driving up the road, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 of these being built right now.
Yes. In our vicinity, yes.
Correct. And that's just within like a mile and a half.
But if you go, let's say you go an hour past, let's say an hour past like Ellijay or Helen.
But there's no one up. Right. So right now, if the liberal left wants to win Georgia, all they got to do is start filling these apartments in these suburb areas that they're building.
Oh, yeah. Well, they're bussing 10,000 immigrants per month into Atlanta.
And they'll just put them into these apartments.
Yep, that's what they're doing.
And they'll move them out. And I understand people are like me. I've moved further away from the city. I moved further out.
Yeah,
but I live in an echo chamber of people that are conservative.
Yes, you do.
In my county where I live, where 75% of people are Republican and conservative, they're never going to change their minds anyway. They don't care about us over there. But if you need to live in any proximity to a major city because of your job or your work or your health or whatever reason, kind of screwed at this point. And once they take the rest of Gwinnett, once they take the rest of maybe the DeKalb and the neighboring counties, Georgia could become a blue state.
I mean, we're kind of already headed there, aren't we?
Unless Trump wins.
So, what do you guys think? Let us know in the comments. What's going to happen for 2024? Are we going to be seeing a Trump incumbent, or is Trump actually still the president of the United States of America?
Whoa.
Where's the music, bro?
I feel like we have to break that down one day.
Not that we're deeply informed.
I think we should at least have
talking about.
I think we could at least have the conversation, and maybe one day, because, and I think we'll end here. There are people out there that I've heard of kind of these really, I don't know if they're considered right-wing conspiracies, because they're not really right-wing conspiracies. They are conspiracies of people that think much more further into the world.
We know for a fact, and even mainstream media, legacy media has talked about plans of the Chinese leadership that are centuries into the future. They play the long game. So maybe, just maybe, there are actors in America that think similarly like the Chinese leadership, and they're thinking centuries out.
Could be.
And maybe it's all a long con, or maybe it's just a long game. Could be a con, could be a game, who knows? But I think some people look at America as a short-term thinking country, and I can understand why that is because of entertainment, media, all that fun stuff. But I would also have to say that there's individuals in high position of influence, power, and money that are also thinking long-term and long game in generations. And that's what the Chinese do. So I don't want us to not give America credit. There might be some great strategists, Matt, that are thinking in generations. Maybe just maybe they're the ones that are actually in control.
We will, maybe next week, we'll talk about the possible new republic.
Ooh, I know where you're going with that, brother.
We will talk about a possible second Declaration of Independence.
Yeah.
These are wild. This is wild stuff. And maybe we'll link that in with Agenda to 2030.
Yeah. And American military rule.
Interesting. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day. Missed you, Peter. Glad to have everyone back. Thank you, everyone. Love you guys.
Yeah, we had to do that without the music last time.
We did. When Will was gone, we're like,
Bunch of nerds. My wife, when my wife saw that, she was like,